caucuses,
being in accordance
with
the overall Occupy. I wasn't sure about the wording.
Or the intention of the phrase. Can you repeat the part you're talking about?
Yeah, I know.
So we know what you're talking about.
Okay. Let me see if I can rephrase this. I'll read that specific clause.
Last check.
Okay, let me reread this again. Whereas Occupy Nashville participants, I'm going to assume that mic off. Can you hear me? Whereas Occupy Nashville participants have a wide spectrum of personal beliefs, it is further resolved that the documents referred to here as decision-making process and approved resolutions are the legitimate concert voices of Occupy Nashville.
We love you! We love you!
You're coming to yourself! We can be all that. Bye!
Okay, let's stick to our purpose.
Okay, this I think is the point. All speech or actions of individual participants or working groups on behalf of Occupy Nashville will be in accordance with these documents. It's not trying to limit your individual rights. It's trying to limit your rights when you speak for Occupy Nashville. Yes, sir.
I have Darlene next, and then Mike. I have a couple questions. The first is, am I going? Is it me?
It's you. Yeah,
Okay.
Darlene.
The first question is, do we have a
Yes.
copy of the documents that this proposal references, like the facilitator's guide, and I think there's a couple other documents that are referenced. Do we have copies of those available to look at? And then my other question is, have you consulted with there is a working group called Continuity, and it's headed by Lynette King out of Outreach. And these are the type of issues that group is to be working on. And I would love to see this proposal come out of that group.
I'm not aware of that group, and I'd be proud to work with any group that we're going to do behind. As far as the facilitator's guide is the existing guide, I don't know where it is. I'm a little concerned about whether we've documented all the prior resolutions and where they might be, I don't know.
Okay, so I have Mike next, and
I'm going to interrupt because Josh from Tech can actually help answer this.
okay, sorry.
All right. Can everybody hear me? All right. Tech has been tossing around the idea of developing a system where all the proposals come in online, are online and available for 24 hours before they come to GA. They're open for comments, and once it's brought back to the GA, so they'd be open for comments, they go back to the working group can disregard all the comments, incorporate some of the comments, make changes as they see fit. Then it would come to the GA, and whatever was decided upon about that proposal would then be documented with that proposal online. Whether it was passed or tabled, how it was amended, all of that information would be contained online. Once we kind of had figured out how that system would work and if it's possible to build, then we were going to bring kind of a outline of the entire system. So it's something that Tech kind of was planning, and it may help with issues like this.
So it's sort of the how of this proposal. How would this...
Well, I think that addresses my last paragraph on what working groups should take this.
Maybe also if the continuity group is interested in also.
So I have a gentleman with a white scarf on. Do you still want to speak?
Yeah. I'm trying to make sure everybody understands it, so that's why I'm going to ask. And I actually agree with the document. And I think what it's meaning is, or saying is, literally, an individual can walk up here and be totally interested, or just want to know what the hell is going on. They they should be able to grab an SOP that pretty much states everything. I mean, it probably doesn't literally, in the beginning, it doesn't get into detail about each individual GA, but it has a structure. And then whatever amendments to any GA or any facilitation group, those amendments are technically rules that or guidelines that facilitators go by. Already that process is in effect, but there's physically, there may be a facilitation booklet somewhere, but literally, and just like the group you just mentioned, never heard it before. So people are just not aware of some minor things. Those minor things may be major to someone else.
Mike has a point of fact.
See, as far as what the group is about, that document already exists. It's the Declaration of Grievances that came out of New York. That's the paper that we're supposed to be handing to people, which we have a hard time keeping because a lot of people get it. But that declaration already exists. Now, this proposal, there's one part I like in the proposal.
Can I keep you this person's area? Are there any other questions just to make sure we understand?
So Kira has a question, and then I have the next. And do you have a question to add after that, Mike, or is it a concern?
That's a great comment.
Okay, good.
I heard in a newcomer session that the GA proposals are not binding. Is that correct?
I can answer that. Yeah, you never surrender your autonomy as part of the GA. So you can't ever say GA made me do it, basically. You are always an autonomous being.
It's important for everybody.
Okay, so I have Lindsay next, and then I don't have anyone after that, so if you think then I missed you, so let me get you. So Lindsay?
Well, have you guys, on the Occupy Wall Street site, there's really good resources about creating your own GA and your own movement and documents for that. And I'm wondering if you've seen that.
No, I haven't.
Okay, it might be, I think it would be good to have that kind of information available to our Occupy Nashville group, maybe even on our website or on a link. And then combine that with our facilitators guide. I don't think that's a friendly amendment. I just wanted to know if you had seen those, because they're good resources.
I was not aware of that.
Okay.
We do have that information in our facilitators stuff, but we don't have a link to it. We now have a new tab on the website that says General Assembly, which has the documents he was talking about, but we don't have links to the New York City GA stuff, which we could do.
I did see that. I think that directed sports.
Jane?
Okay, I have two clarifying questions. But one is, did we not decide? I'm sorry. I have two clarifying questions. One is, did we not decide already? That we would take minutes. And that those would be on the website. My second question. Is anybody taking minutes tonight?
This is a huge problem. I don't think anyone's taking minutes, and that should be my responsibility.
We should have. I'm sorry.
We have a point of fact.
I've been here for almost 4 weeks. I've recorded every GA we've had during that time, so we always have a record of minutes if we have to go back and pull them. So, yeah, we can always go back and pull the minutes if we need them.
But do they get on the website?
Generally, yeah.
We have a computer here if someone wants to use it.
Or there's one right there. If you
Dan, do you want to take minutes?
I actually prefer the unedited version there that he's taking right now.
But will it get on the website?
If someone wants to pull them off there, yeah, absolutely.
So, you can just scribble it down and then give it to me.
Yeah.
Pick it up.
So, all of our GAs are posted on the website. You can go into recorded and you can view the GA for each day. So they're not like necessarily a Word format, but you can go back and watch them.
so okay, so we've lost a little structure now. Mike is trying to make a comment, but Jane is still in the middle of the question. So are you?
I think I have my answers.
You're okay? Okay, so then I have Mike and anyone else. Stick yourself over to me, Dan. I have you.
Just a reminder, we're still on questions. Clarifying questions.
So, my question is, in lieu of the fact that we already have policy for speech that comes out of the General Assemblies, and in lieu of the fact that we already document every General Assembly via the wonderful technology here, I'm questioning whether this is necessary to, what are we doing? Why are we doing this?
You want me to respond to that question?
That was my question.
Everything that you mentioned there, I'm not aware of those things. Are those things approved by GA Nashville? Are those approved through the General Assembly in Nashville?
Yes, both the declaration and the taking of minutes by video were approved through the General Assembly.
And that they go on the website.
Okay. I'm not sure. If those are prior approved, they would just be documented and documented in the records I'm talking about.
As I understand it, Michael, this would pull out our proposals that we've made and that we've agreed on and keep them together so people wouldn't have to watch the entire GA of each day in order to know what we've passed as proposals.
My understanding is that we've already decided that we were going to do that, that they would put it on the website. Now, whether we have or not,
We have it. We're still working on it. So Jane just said that her understanding was that we have already decided that we need to do this. This is sort of an example of why we need to do this, is because Bill wasn't aware that we've already decided to do this.
Sorry, how have we missing you?
And so if we have already decided to do that, this is
I'll put you on staff. Okay, so I have Dan, and then I have Christopher, and then I have you.
Mic check.
Mic check.
I think what Sergeant Wallace is basically saying, he just wants a policy and procedure manual. And that we could take the facilitation.
Where's your question, Dan?
That's a clarifying question.
a clarifying statement, I guess.
Is there a question mark?
Well, Sergeant Wallace, are you proposing that we have a policy and procedure manual in case there's questions about if someone is following that, they can refer to this, and is that what you're proposing?
Yes, I think we already have that. I think we have an excellent process, and it's probably documented well, although I haven't read that book. But I think all I'm asking is that we formalize that probably online so it can be seen by everybody.
Exactly. Right now, it's all bits and pieces, and the facilitation guide probably has 90% of it. Right?
Okay, I have Christopher, and then Jim.
Is anyone not aware that Occupy Seattle also does the same thing? And it helps greatly to bring us transparency. Now, if we post our proposals on the website, and as opposed to reading back minutes, which could be very tedious, and also add a disclaimer of what proposals could you come up with, how much of an outreach that would be.
Alright. It seems like questions are sort of moving to concerns, so are there any last really have to clarifying questions? Because otherwise we're gonna move to concerns.
We had one person up on stack, so Jim, are you okay about that? Is your thing more of a concern than a question, or?
It's just a question.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. I just want to be sure. I keep on hearing so many things. I want to make sure that what you're suggesting is that we mic check. Just to be clear,